This is a perfect segue into the big question.
That's right.
So the question is, we'll start with Davis and I'll come to you, Walker. The question is, what is a significant learning you've had as a result of a painful misstep?
Hmm, man. Let's
I knew
see.
this was coming. It's still hard to like. I don't.
I love it.
Well, man, a painful misstep. We're talking just life in general.
Life in general.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you can hear me now, you couldn't tell 2 3 years ago, but man, I was this guy that thought I could do it all myself. Uh, I was this guy that, but like I said, very OCD. Like, holy cow, my thoughts on where I was at, just mentally, was just, oh, is this gonna be right? Is this perfect? Is someone gonna think this about me? Like, just worry about just trying to make everything perfect, thinking that I could do it. And I was shown, hey, you can't do it. So I got to a point in my life where it was actually May of 2020. It's really weird to say this, and I hope people understand. COVID helped my life in a positive way because it got me to the point where I started to pick up my Bible and read every day and grow closer to Christ. And so, because of that, during COVID, when we were isolated, I just fed into it. And I replaced that with lies that were told, and I'm getting emotional, but you're gonna have to come back to me.
You got this, brother.
You good?
All right, I said I was only gonna cry once. That's twice. But the peace and joy I now experience because of what happened in my life, and to go that May, Walker and I talk about this a lot. We talk about surrendering your life, and it's so easy to surrender. Man, I can't get this out. It is so easy to surrender your sin to Christ, but to actually surrender your life, it's a different call. It's so much harder. You need to go to Walker.
I got you, brother. I got you.
But
I mean, honestly, he went. Mine's kind of the same type of story. When I was at Yale and I played football there, so that's how I got in.
Like
And
casually, right? Hey, I play a little football. Dude, okay.
no, that's how I got in.
I'm guessing
Um,
quarterback,
in high
of
school,
course.
actually, so I got recruited as a safety, but that only lasted for about a week, and then ended up being an outside linebacker. That was a very prideful moment in my life because I did. I was like, quarterback in high school. Got recruited to go to college. People knew who you are. There's articles about you. Blah 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 blah. And it was great because I had a different mindset until I started. The Lord kind of just started humbling me really quick in a lot of different areas at once, like getting smacked by a lightning bolt from heaven. Like like it's crazy, and not in a bad way. Like I know people think that's kind of their view of the Lord sometimes. It's definitely not true. He's most loving ever, but it will humble you. And I prayed for it too, which is just a bad idea, and because He'll do it. And
Yes,
and
yes.
so so if you don't want it, like,
Don't ask for it.
oh man, be careful what you ask for. But no, so I'm there, and I think highly of myself. I got social media, you post, you get likes and comments and all this kind of stuff that just feeds your pridefulness, and it feeds your mindset of, oh, I'm better than you. And you might not think it, but that's kind of how you act. And it kind of set a chain of events to where, like, my parents got in a wreck. um I like was just doing horrible in school, like just bad. Um, and as much as I tried, I mean, I was getting stressed. Like I had practice from, or I go to school from like 8 to 12. I'd practice from 1:30 to 7. I'd eat dinner and then I'd study till 1 or 2 a.m. and I start the day over again. And that just wears on you. And so
Oh,
when you just start having all it's a couple of different things, more than that, just combine everything starts hitting you in your life. Man, I had just a breakdown. Like I remember sitting in the study room in the School of Management, SOM, School of Management. It's a beautiful building, by the way. My construction mind was like, man, this building's awesome. But I was sitting in the building and I was like, I was about to lose it. Like I just remember sitting there, and my brother was coming the next weekend, and like I think it's the only time I've ever had it, but it's just like a panic attack. It's just like a breakdown.
Yep.
The only time in my whole life, but I remember it very vividly. And I called my brother. I was like, dude, I want to quit football. Like I'm done. Blah blah blah. He's like, dude, don't do anything like stupid. Just wait. I'm gonna be there this weekend. We'll talk about it. I'm like, all right. But from there it's just I just started praying really hard. I said, what do you want me to do, man? Like, Lord, where do you want me to go? And started getting all these different things. It was crazy. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going home. Like, I guess I'm going back to Birmingham. And so I ended up transferring to Auburn. I had to take 5 classes over the summer and make an A in all of it because my GPA, believe it or not, wasn't good enough to get in. And so I had to make all A's, and I did because by God's grace, like probably shouldn't have, but I did. And I got into Auburn, and then from there it's just kind of like a build up. I met my girlfriend now, and she's incredible, and she's changed me in more ways than one. And just got rid of social media, except for like LinkedIn and Facebook. I barely go on Facebook. I use LinkedIn most of the time now, but got rid of Snapchat and Instagram and everything that's just horrible for you personally. And then started upward trend of like, hey, it is not about me. It is about other people. It is not my world, like not my life. And so having to change that mindset, and this is I'm still doing it over the course of like 4 years now, I think, which is unbelievable to say that. That is my misstep to my learning, I guess you could say,
Yep.
of fall and slowly rise, because man, it hurts. But if you, like David said, if you let the Lord in, if you just kind of sit and take a ride instead of try to lead the ship, it'll change your life for the better. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna be painful, but in the end, it's definitely all worth it.
Mm-hmm. That's good, man. What I think about that, Walker, is too. It's like the slow rise. It's because we've fallen and we've tried to do it so fast by ourselves that it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
We can say that about ourselves. I know you're okay with me saying that. We can say that about ourselves, and it's like, the emotion I have behind it was because I think back to where I was at. It's hard and it's difficult, but we're out of it, and now we're slowly growing. And I don't want to do that same thing again, where it's about me. I want it to be, man. I hope Jesse and Walker experienced Davis where he loved them and cared about them. That's what I value. So
I never thought that we would be talking on a podcast. I never thought that I would be interviewed on a podcast,
right.
nor that we would have one, nor that we'd get to talk to someone like Jesse, who's incredible, and and this awesome silver fox.
I love it.
And get to meet the people that we have, and like get to experience the things that we've done, and get the opportunities to travel and go places that we get to this year. We've got some things coming up that are pretty awesome, and it's just like, dude, this would never have happened if we had not just kind of loosed the reins a little bit and just let go and not try to do it all ourselves, because it's going to fail every time.
Right. And Jesse, I know, sorry, we're kind of feeding off each other, but
Come on.
the failure is the most, I think, important thing in life. And not just the failure, but how you learn from it. You can go in that failure and the rest of your life live in regret, live in anxiety, live in just worriness, or you can go attack that fear. You can go get after it, like the coffee mug that I'm drinking every day. You can go get after it and pursue Christ, or pursue wanting to get better. And that fear is slowly going to diminish. And like we said before, it takes time. Nothing in this world is a quick fix. I challenge you, if you think it's going to be a quick fix, it's not worth it. It's not built on a good foundation. And if you're trying to find a quick fix, I would challenge you, try to go find the things that create value over time, because that's when you start to build off of something.
And lay that foundation.
That's right. And Walker and I, are slowly. I mean, dude, it's been a year. That's it.
That's crazy.
We haven't built this thing, and we're going to slowly, for as long as the Lord lets us, we're just going to keep growing. We're going to keep trying. We're going to learn from our failures because it's going to happen. We're sinful. We're not perfect people, but we're going to continue to grow and continue to grow. And in the meantime, we're just going to do whatever we can for people because that's who we value. Man, I know I just keep saying I'm sound like I'm a broken record, but I want to be remembered that I value you, Jesse. I value you to walk over myself.
10-4. A couple of things I want to point out is you're talking about the podcast and building it, and as a podcaster, I maybe you feel this too.